Hi, I am Ibtisam Sadiq and today I am here to show you the upgrade of Ultra Hybrid Toon Shader. And before I explain about update, I would like to explain something about this environment. I am going to give this demo scene in this product. In previous demo video, I used a different environment. In that environment, I was using the Megascans textures and some MetaHumans and some models from the Megascan. And Epic doesn't allow to add products with Megascan or MetaHuman. So that's why I replaced textures and removed some models. But most of environment is the same, so you can visualize it without any problem. When I was building the shader, I used this environment as a testing ground, so I like to work in it. Coming back to the updates that I did in this shader. First update is custom depth stencil mask. I was using custom depth mask, which was shared mask between the cell shading system, outline system and shader mask system. Each section had few custom depth related options, and if you want to mask out something for cell shading and then you mask out another object in the outline system using the custom depth, then you can't use them like that. It will affect the both. But with the custom depth stencil mask, we can create different variations of mask, which allows us to mask independently. So now it won't affect the cell shading. Cell shading has separate custom depth mask, and outline system has separate mask, and same goes for the shader mask system. To explain how you can use it, first you need to go to the edit, and then you need to go to the project setting and you need to enable a setting. Then you need to navigate to rendering option, and after that you can scroll and until you see the post process related section. Here it is. Under post processing section, there is custom depth stencil pass. You need to click on the drop down. By default it would be disabled, and you need to set it to enabled with the stencil. After that you can close it and save it, and now it will work. It just work like custom depth because it's a combination of custom depth and custom stencil mask. I am combining both. So I will explain just one. All other custom depth related options work the same way. So to explain it, I am going to use these models. In previous demo I explained that I am using a specific vibrant color approach for the majority of shading models in the scene, but I am keeping the pre-integrated skin and subsurface profile, hair and eye shading model uh, close to the original color, because especially humans doesn't look good with the vibrant colors. Their skins look reddish, which looks weird. But if we talk about other skeletal mesh, which can be using similar shading model like their eagle, and this animal is also using the subsurface profile shading model. But if we give these both vibrant color look, they will look awesome. First I would like to show you how vibrant color look on the metahumans or the uh, skeletal mesh which uses the subsurface profile shading model, especially the humans. If I go to the cell skin, eye and hair color vibrance option, by default I have set it to 0. If I increase it to 1, as you can see, it turned to black characters turned to red, and the white character turned to the yellowish color, which might be liked by some people, and some people want to keep it as original, so that's why I have the option, so people can choose depending on their need. But for animals and birds, I would definitely like to have the vibrant color because they look good. So I will move back to the birds and I will show you how you can keep the most subsurface profile shading model in the original color while keeping the birds and animals in the vibrant color. So that's where we can use that custom depth stencil mask. Now moving back to the custom depth stencil option, if I go to the cell mask, skin, eye and hair color option and check it, it will reveal some other options. And now I will check the filter custom depth stencil mask option. As soon as I enable this option, it will reveal a custom depth stencil value. As you can see, I already assigned different values to the different custom depth stencil mask. To this option I assigned 2. So to add specific objects into the custom depth stencil mask, you need to make sure custom depth stencil value of that object matches with the value that I am using in the specific field. So if I select this eagle and let me add the detail panel. If I select this eagle and select all these sub objects in the blueprint, and I can search the custom and it reveals the option. I am already using the option. I check the render custom depth pass, which is important. You need to check that, and then you need to assign the similar value which I am having there. Each mask would have a different value, and you need to make sure you match the value. So if I assign something else, like if I set the default value which is 0, it will get back to the normal color. As you can see, color has been changed, but if I match the value again, it will again pick up the vibrant color. So coming back to the second update which I did, it's regarding the bloom. First let me hide these heavy meshes so I can easily navigate into the viewport. By the way, I was using the LOD level 0 for those because it's easy to visualize with LOD level 0. So I was using all the metahumans and the skeletal meshes with LOD level 0. If I select the sun and adjust the value, I am going for the sunset, so I will set the value accordingly. I am going to change the sun rotation for that. If you are going for the anime look, uh, bloom on the emissive is little bit intense, which is fine for the anime like look, but on based on these settings, water bloom would be intensified so much that it will look weird. And if you are going to render your scene with the movie render queue, then it will intensify it even more. So right now I'm using my new update, which isn't making it that obvious, but if I reset the value to what it was before adding this feature, then you can see it's right under the bloom settings. That's how it was looking before. It's insanely high and it doesn't look good. So that's the main parameter which controls the all the emissive uh, objects bloom and all the other reflective objects bloom, like it can be chrome or any reflective surface like glossy plastic or even water. So if I increase the value, it increases the bloom overall, but I gave another option which reduce the bloom especially on the single layer water shading model. It's specially for the single layer water shading model. So people who are not aware of Unreal Engine that much, to simplify it, the water system that comes with the Unreal Engine uses the same single layer water shading model. But before that, people used to have the translucent water planes. People still use those, they look good. So you won't need this option for translucent water plane because it will look good by default. But for single layer water shading model, I added this option to control the bloom, so you can reduce the bloom while keeping all the other object with the high intensity. But first I will set the value for the emissive and bloom intensity to default, and as you can see, it's if I set to value set to 1, which was the default before, and after adding this feature, now you can control it. Now it looks better, and when you will render it through movie render queue, it will intensify it little bit, but it won't be crazy. So these were the two updates. If you are curious about all the other features, I already have a video on that. I created a detailed video on all the features. It's a long video, but it explains all the these options in detail. So you can watch this video. If you are still watching this video, then thanks for watching it and take care.